Good evening and thanks for watching Times News with me, Eric Nsikiti. First, the headlines. More calls to end subsidies as they continue dominating the agriculture budget in the past 17 years. Reports indicate government is yet to start disbursing funds from the 17 billion kwacha COVID-19 package. In other news, rehabilitation works on Luchenza and Mzuzu maize silos delay. We have these plus many other stories. Please do stay with us. In our top story, subsidies have dominated the agriculture budget in the past 17 years, leaving core pillars of the sector falling short on financing. One of the areas that is suffering badly from underfunding is that of extension services, on which all other components in the department rely for the development of agriculture in Malawi. The development is frustrating some officials and independent development and economic policy experts. They argue that government needs to take a painful decision to exit the subsidy program so that the money can be invested in areas that can grow Malawi's agriculture. Our calculations show that since 2005, government has spent over 700 billion kwacha on farm input subsidies alone. More on this story in the Sunday Times tomorrow. Minister of Agriculture Robin Lowe has said he is disappointed with delays by the National Food Reserve Agency to rehabilitate Luchenza and Mzuzu maize silos. The silos were expected to be operational by this month. The discharging system for the silos broke down and needs repair with the chain conveyor. Officials at the National Food Reserve Agency attribute the delays to government procurement procedures. Sam Karimira reports.
Speaking after touring the Mzuzu silos on Saturday, Lowe said the 20,000 metric tons Mzuzu silos is very crucial as it's supposed to store this year's grain collected from all the districts in the northern region. Lowe said it is sad that the silos that have stayed idle for 9 years cannot be rehabilitated at the time they are needed the most, thus frustrating government's efforts of ensuring that all the produce is properly stored.
I'm not happy to report that we are not yet there. They have actually missed the deadline. And the issue is about procurement rules. We have to respect our procurement procedures, and they are taking wrong. They have actually asked us to intervene, which we will actually do where there is needed to do so. But the assurance is come September, these silos should be ready.
But National Food Reserve Agency Board Chairperson Dennis Kalekeni said the institution is sure that with support from the ministry, other procurement procedures will be processed with speed. The board chairperson then revealed that National Food Reserve Agency has set aside 4 billion kwacha to be used for rehabilitation works for the silos.
PBDA delayed a bit to respond to us, but again, unfortunately, no objection was also withheld, advising us to go for open tendering. This we have done, and I'm glad to indicate that tenders have already been opened, and within 2 weeks from now, we shall be analyzing the tenders, and I think maybe within the short period of time, we should be able to identify a bidder who is going to supply the materials. During
the tour, it was also discovered that National Food Reserve Agency is using local technicians to work on small rehabilitation activities, a development which has led the institution to save almost 10 billion kwacha in the exercise. National Food Reserve Agency also clarified that the maize, which recently got rotten, was not from the institution but from warehouses of Agriculture Development Marketing Corporation of Malawi, ADMAC.
Now, reports indicate government is yet to start disbursing funds from the 17 billion kwacha COVID-19 package. This comes amid fears Malawi has been hit by the third wave of the COVID pandemic. Mande Pondani has the details.
This has caused worry and panic among stakeholders who are calling on government through the Department of Disaster Management Affairs to speed up the process of funding clusters and district councils. The release of the 17 billion kwacha COVID money from Treasury was directed by President Lazarus Chakwera at the peak of the second wave of the pandemic, which claimed about 1,000 lives in the country. Harold Nkandawire is Executive Director for the Malawi Local Government Association, MAGA, and has described the development as regrettable.
It is regrettable because the COVID-19 pandemic is not yet over, and as you might have observed in the recent days, the cases on COVID-19 are rising. It therefore follows that key institutions involved in the fight against the pandemic, in particular the local government authorities, the governments which are very close to the people, the government that look after the primary and health care, the governments that look after the district hospitals, the governments that look after the health service assistance, the governments that are the primary contact for any pandemic issues at the local level are supposed to have adequate funding for them to effectively respond to this pandemic.
On his part, Executive Director for Malawi Health Equity Network, George Jobe, has warned that the delay might lead to plunder and extravagance of the resources, which government is trying to prevent.
This is the right time to go back to the work plans that were submitted and the funding be done. We should avoid a situation where money is disbursed when the numbers are high and people take advantage to flout procurement procedures because it is an emergency. If we delay more, it will be more of that. But now the funding should go.
But government spokesperson, who is also Minister of Information, Gospel Kazago, says after scrutiny of the expenditure plans that councils and clusters were asked to submit to the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, only 6 out of the 33 councils have qualified and ready for funding, apart from the security cluster. He says all what government is doing is to enhance financial management systems, adding that government has opted for quarterly rather than lump sum funding.
The Synod of Livingstonia of the CCAP has announced it will not allow female Muslim learners to wear hijabs in its schools. The Synod becomes the latest to U-turn on a Public Affairs Committee PAC-backed agreement allowing hijabs in Christian-owned schools. Blantyre Synod of the CCAP and the Anglican Church also announced they will not allow hijabs in their schools. Sam Kalimira has the details.
The Synod has pointed out that Muslim students are minority in schools under the Synod, hence their appearance in hijabs may create discomfort. Livingstonia Synod General Secretary Reverend William Tembo said the Synod is not looking at religion per se.
So the stand of the Synod is no hijab, but a girl must be in class, because we feel something added on her uniform. Are we saying that when we say the hijab will be the uniform of the color of the hijab should be that color of the uniform? Are we going to tell the headmaster to start policing that now? To say any girl who is supposed to put on a hijab, if she's not on a hijab, then she must go away? No. Because it's our policy. We don't want things like the uniform, even lack of school fees.
How are you?
But during our visit to one of the Synod's schools, CCAP Primary School in Mzozo, we found some students in hijabs learning comfortably. One of the Muslim learners, Shakira James, who is in Sunday 6, said she is happy that she can now comfortably learn while in hijab.
We are happy that the government has allowed us to be putting on our hijabs, because this is our religion, that girls we should be putting on our hijabs.
Public Affairs Committee spokesperson Bishop Gifford Matonga said they have not received any official communication regarding the matter, but said it would be unfortunate because the Synod was part of the discussion before the signing. Matonga said in any discussion there must be give and take, which the Livingstonia Synod is supposed to respect.
8 children have applied for judicial review on whether it is lawful to remand children in police cells. The application comes after a lower court ruled that children should be remanded in police custody as they await trial. Pirani Kachinziri has more in this report, read by Matthews Kasanda.
The 8 children are represented by Chikondi Jos and Ruth Kaima, who are challenging the orders of the lower court to remand them into police custody, which they say is unlawful. They argue that this contravenes Section 96 of the Child Care Protection and Justice Act. Center for Human Rights Education, Advice and Assistance, CREA Executive Director Victor Muhango has since asked the Ministry of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare to provide safety homes as an alternative. According to a recent survey by CREA, there are 29 children in the country's police cells.
That's Matthews Kasanda ending a report forwarded by Pirani Kachinziri. The Forum for the Development of Youth with Disabilities has called for more effort in ensuring that children with disabilities go to school. This is despite worries of stigma and discrimination the children face in school. The organization has asked the government to create policies that encourage parents and guardians of children with disabilities to take their children to school. Lauren Impasa has more in this report, read by Elita Soko.
Executive Director of the Forum for Development of Youth and Disability, FDYD, Rex Kalima, says children with disabilities are more likely to miss out on school than other children. He observed that even if they do go to school, they are highly likely to leave before finishing their primary education due to bullying, abuse, stigma, and discrimination. The organization, based in Bangwe, Blantyre, has since pledged to intensify efforts to promote rights of people with disabilities with a specific focus on the youth in order to create a society free from discrimination.
We have got over 150 children with disabilities, but currently with the COVID, we only have 50 to 60 that they are the ones who usually come on daily basis. Some of them they need wheelchairs, some of them they need crutches, some need even the caliper that they wear to move. And we also have got those children that they're coming from less privileged families. So as you know that we have got now we are experiencing cold season. So they always come without warm clothes. And we also have got the challenge whereby the children, especially girls, they were abused at home. So we used to offer them lunch here as one way of protecting them. We could host them from morning to afternoon. Just because now we don't have funding, we no longer host them up to the afternoon. We just release them at 12. Are willing, just if we find somebody who can at least assist us, that we should be providing food for them at lunch. That means we'll be able to host the girls up to in the afternoon.
Business person Emmanuel Mtunga of Liquor Shack provided assorted items to FDYD, supporting the organization to provide structure and a chance for children to deal with trauma, which can cause emotional and psychological issues.
So as you know, in Blantyre here it's very cold. So I thought for myself, if I'm feeling this cold, what about those people who doesn't have beddings, blankets, something that they can keep them warm? So I wrote on my Facebook page. Then I said, how about we share some things that we don't use, because there are some people who need that kind of shoes and clothes. So one of the friends said, how about you bring all your customers, tell them to bring what they can bring. Let them bring whatever they can bring. So I told my customers, so all of these, they are for my friends, my customers at the Liquor Shack.
FDYD stands to promote respect and protection of human rights for all persons with disabilities, while advocating for the inclusion and participation of these people in decision-making processes.
This is the news on Times Television. We'll be back shortly after this break.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Nalero, wenzani kungongole mosavuta. Send money to any bank or any phone number. Just dial *247#. Standard Bank. It can be.
The summer of soccer is here, and becoming a Premier Bet soccer hero is all about making the right selections. It's time to trust your natural instincts, to believe in yourself, be brave. Because there's the Premier Bet jackpot of $100,000 for the taking. So never give up. Bet now and receive up to a 250% win bonus. Premier Bet Soccer Hero. It's all in the selections.
Welcome back. Government on Friday launched a week-long Child Health Day campaign to reduce child illnesses and deaths through immunization and vaccination. The campaign runs from 21st June 2021. Rebecca Chincheka has more in this report read by Matthews Kasanda.
The campaign, which is conducted twice a year, is targeting children aged from 6 to 59 months and postnatal mothers who are within 8 weeks after delivery.
So it is a very, very important one. But also another thing is that the campaign will also include awareness in the communities on how to take care of our children. Because in children, it is very important that we take care of their first days, because that has an impact on the development, overall development, mental development of that child when they grow up.
Children aged 12 to 59 months will receive vitamin A and deworming tablets. A total of about 2 million postnatal mothers are expected to be reached with vitamin A supplementation. On his part, UNICEF representative Rudolf Schenk says his organization is happy that the routine exercise will reach children in hard-to-reach areas.
It's a very important event because during the times of COVID, we really have to ensure that essential health services continue for children. And this exercise is really providing a unique package for children.
This year, Nutrition International has partnered with the Ministry of Health in the campaign. Julita Manda is Nutrition International representative.
Nutrition International is working on to address issues of micronutrient deficiency, and vitamin A is one of the key. And Nutrition International has got a long history of supporting procurement of vitamin A capsules.
The Ministry of Health conducts biannual Child Health Days in order to reach to hard-to-reach groups with health services.
And Lilongwe Water Board has launched a 5-year strategic plan alongside revising its customer service charter to improve service delivery. Minister of Forestry and Natural Resources Nancy Tembo has since commended the board for the two documents. Matthews Kasanda has more from Lilongwe.
The strategic plan runs from 2020 to 2025. Lilongwe Water Board supplies water to about 1 million people. The minister hopes that the strategic plan will address some of the challenges the board is facing.
They should expect improved service. They should expect improved service delivery, improved water supply, and a board that is efficient, that is streamlining its activities to suit the new Malawi.
Lilongwe Water Board Chairperson George Kajanga says some of the water problems the board is facing are due to climate change, catchment degradation, urbanization, lack of financing for infrastructure investment, and negative public perception.
We have looked at two sources, new water sources. We've looked at Diambwe. Diambwe, if we take on Diambwe, it takes us up to 2025. That's not continuous. Yet there is another water source, that is the Salima Lilongwe Waterway. That one is the one that is likely to remain continuous, serving us for the future.
The minister says the Lilongwe Water Board has impressed her for increasing the water supply coverage to Lilongwe residents from below 60% in 2015 to over 83% at present.
Marymount Catholic Secondary School officials have expressed worry with the condition of structures at the school. The school's manager, Linley Javula, says the institution, which was constructed in 1962, spends about 15 million kwacha every year on renovations. Bernard Mhone has more in this report read by Sam Kalimira.
Achavula amayankhula izi pamwambo omwe amapereka
Well, we apologize for that, but moving on with the news, Seventh-day Adventist Christians have been urged to get involved in sports activities if they are to remain healthy. The remarks were made on the sidelines of a sports day that the church organized through its Namilango zone in Blantyre. Isaac Salima was there.
Women, men, boys and girls from various churches took part during the event that took place at Namilango Primary School in Machinjeri. Tamba Doggers were winners in the women category, while Ongombe boys emerged champions in the boys category. And Tawira Adventist Men Organization were winners in the men category, while Namilango emerged champions in girls. MacLeod Namatanga, a master guide who was guest of honor at the event, urged Christians not to undermine sports activities.
It brings more excitement to those who are, participating. They bring them together, and because of these activities, they will need to participate more. And there are some activities which are aligned ahead, which they will need to take part. Because of such things, they will be participating. They will not want to miss any of the classes and any of the events like this.
Flores Mwafuriwa, a member of Doggers Women from Ongombe Church, thanked the church for organizing the event.
In the development of their church, sporting activity is very important because it makes our body to be very healthy. On top of that, you can agree with me that a healthy person is the one who leads the church properly.
Christians from 7 churches within the zone took part in the activities.
In international news now, Nigeria's women activists were on the front line in last year's mass protests against police brutality, but say they do not always get the same recognition as their male counterparts. From Abuja, reporter Timothy Obiezu looks at the role of Nigerian women activists.
Nigerian activist Aisha Yusufu addresses a pressing national issue with her online listeners: equity and improved conditions in Nigeria. Yusufu has been an activist since she was in school nearly 3 decades ago, but it's not been easy.
I'm not that typical person that you see coming out to make demands. Here I am, I'm a Muslim, I'm a woman, I wear hijab, and then it's like, oh, you're not supposed to speak as a Muslim. That's why a lot of people look at it.
Women like Yusufu are pressing on with their cause, despite biases and even threats. In 2014, she became prominent for co-founding the Bring Back Our Girls BBOG movement, a group that raised global awareness demanding the release of 276 girls kidnapped by Boko Haram in northern Nigeria. Last October, she also took part in the End SARS protests against police brutality. A photo of her kneeling and pointing her clenched fist into the air against heavily armed police officials became the movement's symbol.
The police were shooting at me. I literally thought I was going to die. Literally. I should admit, the only thing I said to God was that, God, please let it be a clean thing. Let whoever's bullet is going to touch me, let it just be straight through the heart. Let me fall dead, because I wouldn't want to be on the floor in pain while some policemen or women will be standing over me and gloating.
Yusufu's resilience has inspired many other women in Nigeria. The End SARS protests led to an increasing number of women organizing and leading street demonstrations. Among them, 22-year-old Rinu Udwala, a leader of the protests in Lagos.
I'm constantly reminded that as a female growing up in Nigeria, I only need to be seen and not heard. So I fight each day to use my voice and platform to talk about issues affecting my society.
Nigerian culture, as elsewhere in Africa, is highly patriarchal, but things are changing gradually. Last month, Nigeria's Women's Affairs Minister moved for a constitutional review that would give women up to 35% representation in public offices. The current figure is just 7%. Education is the reason more women are finding their voices, says Vivian Belong, founder of Social Action Nigeria.
It better exposes us to the rights and wrongs that has been going on. And not just that it exposes us, it also kind of gives us a kind of confidence that impossibility does not exist, and that convention, can always be challenged.
Belong says it will take a major change before women are perceived as equals in Nigeria, something she says will not happen soon. But activists like Yusufu and Odwala vow to continue to push past restrictive societal norms. Timothy Obiezu for VOA News, Abuja, Nigeria.
Well, I'm afraid that's what we had for you in the news this evening. But before we go, the headlines again. More costs to end subsidies as they continue dominating the agriculture budget in the past 17 years. Reports indicate government is yet to start disbursing funds from the 17 billion kwacha COVID-19 package. In other news, rehabilitation works on Luchenza and Mzuzu maize silos delay. Remember, you can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website www.times.mw, liking our Facebook page Times360 Malawi, and following us on Twitter at Times360 Malawi. I am Eric Nsigiti. Good evening.
Hi, little one. What seems to be the matter? I know just what you need. Me! I'm Classic Milk, your instant milk powder. Perfect for breakfast, tea time, or evening time. Whether you're working hard in the office or just relaxing at home. And I'm suitable for tea, coffee, or an instant milk drink for kids just like you. Yes! That's exactly how I make you feel.
Classic instant milk from RAB Processors. Full cream milk powder for the whole family.
Define your surroundings with the color of your choice. Make it warm, creative, friendly, and vibrant. Coat textures. Durable color options. With up to 1,200 color shades to choose from. Be it economy range or premium range paints, innovative paint and color technology in every drop.